All right. So hormones, we're going to talk about what they are, why they matter, and why balance is really the key to transforming your health. So what are hormones? Simple definition, they're chemical messengers that regulate every system in the body. They are the things that fire, that basically tell our body, you know, about energy, mood, sleep, appetite, metabolism, and reproduction. And they matter because when they're in balance, everything is great and we feel good and we're focused and we're resilient. And when they're out of balance, we experience different issues like low energy, fatigue, weight gain, or difficulty losing weight, sugar cravings or different types of cravings, appetite control, mood swings, anxiety, depression, trouble sleeping or staying asleep, irregular cycles, hot flashes, PMS, brain fog, poor focus, poor recovery from workouts. Literally, the list goes on. And what I have learned on my health journey is that hormones are really the key to feeling good. So let's talk about the different hormones and what they are. So, energy metabolism hormones. We're talking insulin, glucagon, and thyroid hormones T3 and T4. So some of these you may have heard of. So insulin is a very common hormone, but I don't know if everybody realizes that insulin is a hormone. So when your body has a hard time regulating sugar or you have too much sugar, insulin is the hormone that is responsible for regulating that and communicating about fat storage and energy use. So people with diabetes and other folks that have insulin resistance have a really hard time, and it's because their insulin hormone is out of balance. Stress and recovery, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So you've heard of these as well, more than likely. We're talking about, especially when it comes to menstrual cycle, the estrogen and progesterone rise and fall every month for women. And then testosterone is a male hormone, but women have testosterone as well. Hunger and satiety. So ghrelin and leptin, again, maybe you don't hear as much about these, but these are hunger and satiety hormones. So this tells us that we're hungry, and then leptin tells us when we're full. And these can get thrown off for a number of reasons, and that messes with our ability to stop eating. And then we have mood and sleep. So serotonin and melatonin, also relatively common, but maybe you didn't realize that these are actually hormones. And these are responsible for stabilizing mood and telling us when to wake up and when to sleep. So let's talk about what throws hormones off in the first place. So under eating protein for sure, because protein is extremely necessary for hormone production and also regulating hormones. Beyond that, though, I should have added to this just nutrient deficiencies in general. When our body does not have what it needs, it starts overcompensating in other areas. And without the right nutrients, our body just can't function properly. Those are literally the fuel that we need, our macronutrients and our micronutrients, which I just talked about a little bit a couple days ago. So I can share the link for that at some point so you can kind of get a feel for nutrition and why our macro and micronutrients are so important. Moving down the list, though, poor sleep, high stress, which is cortisol hormone. That is also another reason that everything else gets thrown off. Other things that are not as well known or more talked about now than they used to be, it would be toxins. So household toxins, beauty products, plastics, that even includes polyester clothing. All of these different chemicals act as endocrine disruptors, which basically mimic hormones in the body and then throws off the balance of hormones because our body is thinking, oh, well, I'm getting this estrogen or I'm getting these other things, and therefore the system gets thrown off. Another thing that I should have added to this list would be birth control or hormone pills and things like that, because now our body is being told when to fire because we're putting hormones in versus allowing our body to regulate our hormones naturally. And then overly processed foods, refined carbs. I mean, everybody knows that these are not good for you in general, and they don't help our hormones either. So the fuel matters. Like I already said, under eating protein is one of the probably most common reasons why hormones start to get thrown off in the first place. I forget what the statistics are, but I want to say it's like over 50% of women are under eating protein, according to, like a basic statistic. So it's not 100% accurate, but, with a grain of salt, most of the time women are not eating enough protein. I don't think it's just women though. I think Americans in general. If you're on a standard American diet, and you don't pay attention to macros, then it's very likely that you're not getting enough protein in your diet. You're probably having too much fat, too much carbs, not enough protein, excess energy without protein that messes up our metabolism, and that messes up different systems in the body as well. Not getting enough healthy fats. So for a while, fat was vilified, and everybody was like, "Oh, low fat diets, low fat diets." Low fat is one of the absolute worst things that you can do for your health, especially when it comes to hormone production, because without cholesterol, your body is unable to process the hormones that it needs to, and they don't fire properly. So healthy fats would be, coconut oil, avocado oil, anything that's not a seed oil, real olive oil. I consider tallow and grass-fed butter to be healthy fats as well. And then we can talk about carbs too. So carbs do help regulate cortisol and thyroid function. And especially when you're in your luteal phase, women, we need more carbs. Some women don't do really well on low carb diets. There's nothing wrong with that. It's more about making sure you have carbs at the right time. I typically do a relatively low carb diet, and I was able to regulate my hormones and balance them on a low carb diet for quite a while. And then once I started eating with my cycle, and eating more carbs in my luteal phase, it really was a game changer as well. And then we have micronutrients, so our vitamins and minerals, which are literally the spark plugs for every process in the body. So kind of going back to what I was saying in the earlier slide, we need the right nutrients and the right fuel to so the body can fire and function properly. I want to talk about vitamin D as well. So vitamin D actually acts like more of a hormone than a vitamin. It plays a direct role in regulating our sex hormones, thyroid health, insulin sensitivity, mood. It's also really important for immunity as well. And many people are deficient because we put sunscreen on when we go out into the sun. We don't eat enough fish in our diet. And in or maybe so you if you can supplement to try to help, but really sunshine is best. Obviously eating salmon and different seafood can help with vitamin D as well, but vitamin D is really important. And tying vitamin D back to healthy fats, your body needs cholesterol in order to synthesize vitamin D. So there's a lot of different things there that tie together. So healthy fat and vitamin D together, really important. And if you're looking for a vitamin D supplement, make sure it has vitamin K added, because you need the vitamin K also to help synthesize that vitamin D and actually absorb it into the body. Other vitamins and minerals that are important are B vitamins. So B vitamins come very specifically from animal source food, meats. Folate is also very high in eggs. So think your meats and eggs. Is a great way to get B vitamins. I'm not a big fan of supplementing with B vitamins. You can look into this further, but there are studies that show that people who supplement with B vitamins actually gain more weight, and it causes other problems in the body. And that has to do with bioavailability, absorption, cheap replicates of B vitamins versus the actual natural source. So I advocate for everybody to get their B vitamins from animal source meats and whole foods, essentially. Magnesium. So magnesium is an extremely important mineral, and you need it for tons of things. And a lot of people who have trouble sleeping or are stressed out will get recommended a magnesium supplement. There are different types of magnesium, so make sure that you're getting one that is good for stress. I personally take magnesium citrate, and that's a really good one, but there's lots of different ones that help for different things, but magnesium is really important. Zinc and selenium are also really important, and these tie directly into thyroid function, which tie directly to our hormone production as well. So zinc and selenium are very often found in different seafoods. My favorite source of zinc would be Um, my favorite source of zinc would be from oysters, to be honest. It's like the highest it's like the highest food in zinc. But selenium is also high in shrimp, other seafoods as well, I believe sardines. So those kind of things can help regulate your hormones and are important for hormone health as well. Okay. All right. I really wanted to talk about sleep. So, a lot of people hear it all the time, get your 8 hours and things like that. Folks, sleep is so important for hormone balancing. It is, in my opinion, one of the number one things because sleep is when your body resets, it repairs, and it regulates our hormones. So, especially when it comes to cortisol. Um, Getting at least 8 hours of sleep makes the biggest difference for me when it comes to my hormone health and reducing PMS and things like that. Obviously, nutrition is really important too, but I just really want to reiterate and emphasize that sleep is one of the most important things when it comes to feeling our best, having energy, and allowing our body to do the things that it needs to do so that we can recover quicker and we can tackle the day with resilience and energy. So, bottom line, sleep is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is absolutely a necessity. And if you're having trouble sleeping, because I always feel bad saying this, knowing that some people are trying to sleep and they just keep waking up in the middle of the night or having a problem, that is a direct sign that your hormones are probably imbalanced and there's something else going on within the system that is causing that. And then I want to talk about the vicious cycle of hormone imbalance because a lot of people find themselves kind of going in circles, and it's because all the different pieces are perpetuating more problems down the line. So a lot of times it starts off with nutrient deficiencies. So we're not getting, the right macro and micronutrients, and then that causes us not to feel so well, and then disrupts different systems and throughout the body. And then we're having sleep problems, and this not getting enough sleep is perpetuating hormonal imbalances. And then our hormonal imbalances are disrupting other systems within the body as well, leading to cravings, mood swings, fatigue, weight struggles. And then that kind of takes a deeper dive on our mental health and perpetuates even more poor decisions and lack of energy and motivation to keep moving forward. So I just really want to emphasize the importance of balancing everything out, getting the right nutrition, getting enough sleep, and stopping the cycle so that your body can start to repair itself. And this doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Um, I don't want to be out here preaching to people that this is going to be solved overnight. It doesn't get solved overnight. It does take time. But with consistency and getting the body what it needs, your body will repair itself. Your body wants to heal itself. The problem is that we just don't give it the opportunity to do so. And in closing, when you feel good, you feel good. And I often talk about fuel as our food and our nutrients that we're putting into our body, but fuel is more than just food. It is sleep. It is what we consume on a daily basis, not just in with food, but what we're seeing, the information we're taking in, the people we surround ourselves with. Um, in general. So, and that is my whole spiel on hormones and why they matter for your health and why they matter for reaching your goals. So please let me know if you have any questions. And I know this was a very quick overview. Obviously, we could go deeper on all of these things, but just trying to give everybody some fuel for thought and give you some information to hopefully help you and make you feel less alone in your struggles, because I just want you to know that your body is not broken. It's just missing something. And that's why things aren't working the way that it should be.